Welcome in. This is 300 Yards to Unknown. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, that's Eric Patterson. EPAT, happy Honda week?
Yeah, if we want to get excited about the Honda, it definitely feels like an off week in our business, in our world, which is it's nice to sit back a little bit, especially after the run that we've been on. But I mean, the Honda's the Honda. It's got its own little charm. It's probably the toughest test on tour, and maybe one of the weakest fields. So it's a weird mix.
The idea that I mean the schedule, they just got screwed big time here. I've been saying this all week, but like when you go back and actually look at the run of events that we've had on, because listen, a PGA National is difficult, so I know guys don't want to get beat up, but the Honda's a great event, and we went from Riviera to a WGC to API to the Players, and then next week is the match play. And smack dab in the middle is Honda. Like you could have put a lot of tournaments here and it would have had no chance.
Yeah, no, it definitely got a short end of the stick. I'm sure the people at Honda and Honda Power and Motorsports and lawnmowers are not too impressed, but they've been here for so long and now they're just getting screwed. It's just weird how the tour treats longtime sponsors like that. There's probably a few others that I'm missing off the top of my head that are kind of getting squeezed out, but yeah, it sucks, but you need these. You need these natural resting points in the schedule. It just can't be go, go, go all the time, or you're just never going to have those like ebbs and flows of a season. You need a downtime like this. And unfortunately, it lies at, this week. And like I said, it's the field that's not as strong as we like to see. But I mean, we got hit with more COVID WDs. We got some injuries, but they kind of got screwed on that end of things too. So unlucky in multiple facets.
We're going to talk about those in a minute. The only other time, I mean, obviously, events are changing all the time, but like Valspar got the bad end of the schedule, not even being in the Florida swing anymore. And Greenbrier's spot was so bad that they were just like, yeah, we're out. We don't even want to, we don't want to have a tournament anymore because like we are in the worst spot and nobody watches this event. Nobody wants to come here because it was like the first event of the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, I don't know. If they keep pinching people like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see more events kind of bail or scale down or try to reposition. Like, I don't know what goes into that. I know the Canadian Open tried to jockey for a new spot in the schedule for years because they were the week after the Open Championship and no one wanted to come over and play that tournament now. And now there's a new tournament in the week after the Open. So there's just those natural, terrible timings on the schedule that obviously go for a discounted rate, but it's just not, I think it's just like a kind of a losing proposition for these companies that are forking over millions of dollars and no one shows up to their events.
I can't imagine the tour will ever do this, but thought exercise, would they be better off building in bye weeks, right? Like I understand they're not, they got 50 tournaments on the schedule this year, all with a big time sponsor. They've got a lot of money. They don't want to take weeks off, but in theory, do you think adding, I don't know how many you'd have to add, 4, 5, after the majors or, like in a spot like this for Honda this week, where it's just like an absolutely stacked stretch of the schedule, would they be better off doing that and then charging the sponsors that they do have more and being like, yeah, now it's kind of like a more exclusive group that we have going on here?
It's hard to say. I know the players will never say no to more playing opportunities, especially the ones at the bottom of the FedEx Cup who need these points. Like Fowler's out here grinding. He needs points. There's some European guys who want to try to sneak into the WGC next week. So there's reasons for these guys to play. I just wish they rounded out the fields. And everyone talks about this. Anytime there's a weak field, it's like, why are the top 20 guys on the Korn Ferry Tour not playing in this tournament to try and snipe a top 10 and then, try and carry some of that momentum and maybe grab a PGA Tour card. You look at the Korn Ferry Tour, like the odds board this week, like off the top of my head, Taylor Pendrith, who's, one of the top players on the Korn Ferry Tour. He played, I think he played pretty well down in Puerto Rico. Just like give those guys chances to play in some of these lower tier PGA Tour events. And maybe you can spur a run from, an up and coming guy instead of giving, I don't even want to pick a name off a list as an example, but there's just so many in this field. You're like, what is this guy doing for the PGA Tour at this point in his career?
Yes, Alan Morin. I'll pick a name. Alan Morin, who I believe is 50 years old, hasn't played on the PGA Tour in years. Got in. I mean, he was like the seventh alternate or whatever because we had a lot of withdrawals, but probably does not need to be in this field. You could have picked any number of collegiate players, like literally anything. Corn Ferry guys over some of these.
So it would be fun to have like, I don't know, if they ever made the FedEx Cup, and again, I'm not coming up with ideas here on my own, but because people have talked about this before, but like if the FedEx Cup points are going to be something that are very important and kind of determine this if you have a card for the next year or not, make FedEx Cup points a thing on the Corn Ferry Tour as well, so these guys can accumulate points down there, and if they come up and grab a start on the PGA Tour, earn points, and they can just like make the currency flow through all the tours so you can kind of keep track better of who's moving up and who's moving down. And I think you can just give like weeks like this would be way more interesting when there's like a handful of guys under 25 trying to make a run and try and find a spot on into the playoffs or whatever it might be. Just like there's just no storylines. There's not a lot of juice to this event, but if you make it, the weeks after majors are like these opportunity for the web guys or the Corn Ferry guys to make like a push or something. You have a bunch of Will Zalatorises in the world coming up and trying to grab spots. I think they're just more compelling storylines than trying to, watch some guy grind out his, 30th start of the season and just kind of on some kind of weird exemption.
Like, do you think I just watched VJ Singh hit a shot. Now, I don't know if he's won this before, so I don't know if he's in on like past champions or he's in on like sponsors exemption. But
VJ, I think VJ's in any tournament he wants to play in.
Right, but right because he's got like the lifetime whatever. But like, does that why? Like, I know he's earned it, I guess, but like that does very little for the tour. I guess they can't say no because he does have the lifetime membership, right?
Yeah, it is once you're VJ's in a class of his own. I think there's definitely some dudes out here who are squeezing the tour for all they're worth in terms of starts. VJ's like Bo Van Pelt I just cruised through the leaderboard. I see Bo Van Pelt. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know what he's up to. He finds a start, plays it, probably misses a cut, and it just comes and goes. There's nothing there. He's adding nothing to this tournament. He's adding nothing to the season long stories. Like it just kind of a wasted spot. But they give out sponsors exemptions to Chase Koepka, and like that's actually something they keep showing him on the broadcast. You recognize the name. It's something you track. Again, it's a young guy. It's a star player's younger brother. It's a little interesting. You kind of want to see if Chase Koepka might have a shot here, but there's just too many dudes filling spots that just don't add any value.
Do you think we will get to the point where, like, I think there's a lot that you can do. Like you could require guys to play 25 times a year, right? Like you could require that of the top players. Obviously, the big thing holding that all back is the independent contractorship of these golfers. But without going as far as unionizing or creating a golfers association like you have in other leagues, the NBA has a players association and all these other organizations do. Could you start incentivizing them in some way and getting them? And they're trying to do this, right? With like, you have to play a new event every 4 years or something like that.
I was going to say that.
Like, is there another step that we can take so that we don't end up with a week like this?
I honestly, I think, like I said, I think I wouldn't want to see that. I think the freedom these guys have makes it interesting, makes them picking their schedule interesting. Like I don't know. I'm not really for forcing guys to play an X number of events. If they want to play whenever they want to play and they can earn their card or earn enough money to do it, that's fine. I just don't think, I think these events are needed. You need off weeks, but I just think you could make these a little more juicier by just kind of opening up the doors to more players or different players instead of the same old recycled players that we've seen before. That's the direction I would take it. I'm not sure necessarily forcing a guy to play after, he's played 3 or 4 weeks in a row. There's a major coming up. He's going to take a week off. So it's a tough balancing act, but I wouldn't go down the rabbit hole of forcing a certain number of starts. I think that's kind of goes against what makes the PGA Tour kind of special.
I'm kind of surprised that we have not gotten to the point yet of guaranteeing every player money in the field, right? Like if you miss the cut, you get nothing.
That's
Um,
sweet. That's what's great about it, though. I love that. I love that. I
is
think
it
that's
great?
what. Why isn't it great?
I mean, listen, golf and what? Tennis are the only two major sports that your salary is 100% dictated on your performance in your venue. Is that right? Like, are there any other
And
sports that
I'm
do this?
pretty sure, like, if you make the round of 64 draw in tennis, I think you get paid. Like, it's the
Oh,
pre-qualifying. I'm fairly certain those guys get paid because there's like a lot of like pre-qualifying tournaments going on. They have like Monday Q tournaments in a way, and they got to get in that way. But I'm pretty sure if you make it to the round of whatever draw you're in, I'm pretty sure they go home with a check. So golf is a little different in that
I,
sense.
I guess it like I like the idea of okay, you made the weekend that gets you a check, but it's not like 65th is $100,000. It's like 12 grand or whatever, right? Or some of these weeks it's like I don't know. I don't see the big incentive of being like, wow, he made the cut and now he gets 12 grand and that's probably half of his travel expenses for this week because it's so expensive to bring your team of five
It
guys and
is.
all that.
I'll say it might be a little too top heavy. I think like making the cut and grinding to a top whatever 20. I think that's I don't know. I think maybe the difference between winning and coming, we see this in when we're tracking, DFS. The difference between winning and coming top 10 is can sometimes be pretty narrow. But for these guys, it's what, like $900,000, which is life changing money for some guys. So I think there's a chance you could flatten the payout structure if we want to beat that drum. But um, I don't know. I think that's what makes the tour kind of special is these guys got to go out and earn it. And that's what
Yeah.
all at the same time makes it frustrating that they're giving opportunities to guys who maybe have already earned it and they're just kind of in their twilight of their career and they're just not giving younger kids or the future tour pros a chance to get kind of a kickstart in their career.
I'm looking at the Honda Classic payouts from last year, so from 2020. So Sung Jae wins it. He gets 1.26 million. Second is 763,000. That's Mac Hughes. Making the cut. So Hayden Buckley in 69th got 14,490. I don't really know what my stance is on this. I guess I'm just more surprised that it hasn't happened yet. I'm actually just kind of surprised that it's like if you are in the field, you get 10 grand. That's like your travel, a little bit of something just for getting. I mean, like it's so hard to even get into fields now. Like we see these Monday qualifiers and like kind of what you were talking about with tennis. Like you've had to earn your way into so many of these spots. Like I'm just surprised that this hasn't been pushed for yet and it hasn't
Yeah, that
happened.
it's probably maybe it's better just to say I'm surprised that it hasn't, and there's just not like a flat, cover your costs. Here's the if you're a full like time tour member, you have a full time card, whatever they think a travel cost is, pay the caddy a little bit, whatever, and that's if you miss the cut, there's your cut for the week. Yeah, I now that you mentioned how much money the tour makes and pays out, and they give 15 million to the FedEx Cup winner, you could just divvy up and then keep some of these guys afloat for the season, even though they might be struggling or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean
maybe
five
that's what
five
sponsors are for. I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah, I mean, 5 grand a guy or 10 grand a guy for 140 golfers is 1.4 million. This purse this week is 7 million. Maybe you charge Honda 8.4, or maybe you charge them, or maybe you just pay out the guys that missed the cut. I don't know. It's listen, I don't really have a strong stance on it, but I guess I'm just surprised because I think we're seeing, and I think that the natural evolution that we've seen in other sports is going to have to come to golf at some point too, right? Like, and I think the perfect example of that is kind of like injury reports. So in the NBA, as they started to get more intertwined with gambling sites, as they started to get more intertwined with DFS sites, they try to at least crack down on injury reports. Now, you could argue they're doing a good job or not. You could argue the NFL does a good job, or I feel like the NFL probably does a better job than anybody at the moment because you get like throughout the week
Week to
updates.
week, you got kind of understand what different injuries are and
Right.
what
What's a probable? What's a questionable? Are they in
yeah,
a
and what like
protocol?
do not participate limited means on a Friday versus limited on people have learned to know what those mean.
So now it's like, okay, well, we had Daniel Berger withdraw, luckily on Wednesday with a rib injury, right? And we were kind of hearing rumblings all week long. Okay, played with this rib injury at the Players, and he went for an MRI on Monday, and we're never going to know the results of that MRI because they don't have to tell us. And he withdraws from the Pro-Am, and we're like, I don't know what's going on here. And he could have very easily have withdrew. He had a Thursday afternoon time. He easily could have woke up on Thursday, see how he was feeling, and withdrew then, and in turn, um, impacted a lot of things financially for bettors and for DFS sites. Now, Daniel Berger should not care about that. I completely, he should not care about
No,
whatever else is going on. But if the tour or any organization is going to get into bed with these sites, there has to be some level of transparency and integrity, right?
they're like I'll bang this drum. I think there definitely does. Even if it's hard to say. Like people sometimes they don't want the information. Like it skews their perception or what they think might unfold for the week. But I still think once we learn how that information impacts their play or what a back injury versus like a hand injury, like once we learn what different injuries these guys might be dealing with or ailments or whatever, I think we'll be able to understand like if it actually impacts them. I think last week, what was it? Last week, there was a few WDs at the Players. Justin Rose was apparently not on site at TPC Sawgrass, but this was like unreported. No one really knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And then it was like the least shocking withdrawal after like the first tee time. So like if you were paying attention, you had an inkling that Rose might withdraw, but there was no mention of it from anything official. Like I think it was Chris Powers from Golf Digest tweeted it out. So it's just like that's where it had to come down to. It's just one guy in the DFS world.
Right. That's the other thing is that is not a unique situation where a guy has not even been on site and it's been like Tuesday or Wednesday and no one in the official media has asked about it. Like the PGA Tour comms has not sent anything out.
Imagine this like a starting quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
We got 10 minutes till kickoff and we haven't seen Brady in the building.
Tom Brady wasn't on the team plane. Like that would be something noteworthy, right? It would be noteworthy if it's Tuesday and the favorite in the field is not on site. That would be noteworthy. So I don't know how you would police that, whether it is, hey, they're here they are at the range. We saw them, I don't know what it looks like or how you would say.
I think you could have like a range report, just like this guy checked in, this guy checked out. This guy hit balls for 2 hours. This guy didn't hit any balls today. And maybe we understand we learn their practice schedules. Knowing that the guy that Berger withdrew from the Pro-Am is interesting. Because guys, I think they're allowed to withdraw from those once in a while because of injuries. I don't think you can just skip them for the sake of skipping them. So that's definitely noteworthy. But again, that came from someone in the betting. I think it was Will Gray was the first one to tweet that out. So it's nothing official. Nothing is official, but like even a range report, just like this guy showed up to the range on Tuesday, hit balls and left, or he played 9 holes with so-and-so. Just
that right there, I think is a really good call. A range report, or just like literally just facts. He was here, he was on the range from 9:54 to 10:54 and whatever, because it would be really difficult to put this in the hands of the golfers. And I don't know what you do. Here's a diagram, circle what hurts. Like I don't know how you would do that,
it's
but
hard to do it.
And how do they determine whether I'm just sore or whether this is going to potentially impact me? I like that. Just tell us, have they hit balls? Who'd they play with? Did they play 9? Whatever, like that stuff. And, I don't know how they would go about doing it, but I think that would be a really good first step.
And like all this comes down to is betting and money. And yeah, like you said, the tour getting into bet. And it only matters because people are getting kind of screwed when Justin Rose, or there was another one last week, maybe Louis a few weeks ago, just pulled out after lock. You had no other options. You're stuck with a 0 in your lineup. It just, and if they do start reporting injuries, I also think it adds a level of like kind of game theory. Like if we knew Berger had a rib injury, but we were guaranteed his replacement in a DFS lineup, let's say, like maybe you run the risk of rolling Berger out, but worst case you get Rain Gibson. I think a lot of people might take that risk, whereas last week with Rose, you knew he wasn't around, so I'm definitely just going to be a 0. He should be 0% owned. And even this week, like, I don't know if anyone was willing to roster Berger knowing that he was that hurt. That just goes into like risk tolerance and whatnot. So I think it adds a level of game theory into an already complicated game in our world. But
I'm trying to think of a scenario in which more transparency would be better that is not gambling related. I guess in other sports, there's a bit of gamesmanship and there is a bit of like, hey, Tom Brady was on the injury report. Do we need to prepare for his backup quarterback or whatever that might be? LeBron, might rest tonight or like that. That does impact another team. I guess it doesn't really impact the other playing competitors in any way. So I'm just trying to think, is there any reason outside of betting that the tour should be more transparent with golfer information?
yeah, it's not like you can. Other sports, they report injury. Like in hockey, I know they hide like lower body, upper body, so guys can't be targeted. Like you're not going out to target Justin Rose bad back. Like if he just has a bad back, he might show up for his tee time or he might not. There's no, yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know. Maybe these guys are all hurt. That's another argument I've seen is these
Yeah.
guys are all dealing with something. So you can't just have an endless list of ailments or you'll just never take any of them seriously. So maybe there's that side to it that these guys are just dealing with aches and pains. Like Tiger might be doubtful every time he tees it up and just you never know. So it's yeah, I would just like to see something, just more information before the tournament is all
I'll stick with range reports. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best idea I've heard thus far. I like that.
All right. We'll
Honda
pitch that
week.
one to the tour.
Honda week means that we are going to get a million mentions of the bear trap this week. And I've started to think about this over the past couple of weeks about a lot of courses now are naming stretches of holes, usually like these 3-hole stretches. How many of these can we name? How many are
We
there?
got a lot. We got what? This A-Man's Corner. We got what's the one at the Snake Pit at Valspar?
That's
We
the one I
got
forgot. There's one at Torrey.
what's like the Green Mile?
They call it the undertow.
Oh, but
That's on the
where's the
north
green? The
course.
Green Mile's at Quail Hollow. I
Yeah.
think it's like yeah, 3-hole stretch on the back of just monster holes.
Horrible
I don't know, there's
horseshoe.
too many. What?
Horrible horseshoes at Colonial.
Oh god, yeah. These ones are just are non-existent to me.
That might be it. Are there any more?
There probably is. I'm sure these courses come up with their own 3-namers, 3-course or whatever, 3-hole.
So then, okay. So now the question leads to why? Why? What's the branding of these holes?
I think
And why these
from
3?
Amen's Corner. It's probably like was Amen's Corner the original? I don't want to like.
It has to be. I mean, right?
There might
it has
be.
to be.
This doesn't seem like something Europeans would do with like the old course. I don't think has a 3-hole stretch that they just wanted a nickname. So I do think this is something North Americans have clung on to. But yeah, I think maybe they just want their own little their own little marketing brand. You can put up a statue, you can get a nice bear, you can get a nice snake, you throw it up there.
Probably sell merch off of it.
Yeah, I mean the bear trap is tough. I'll give them that. These 3 holes are no joke, but
that's the other thing. Yeah, it's never they never say, "Hey, here are the 3 easiest holes. Have fun." Like they could call it like
that would be
birdie bonanza. Like I don't know, like
scoreable stretch. Yeah, just
it's always the hardest holes.
Yeah, that's true. So that's if you had a course, you would just give them a 3-hole.
Yeah.
Just go eagle, birdie, eagle, and turn your round right around.
It would be like a par 5, drivable par 4, par 5, and then be like, "Can you go 3, 3, 2, 3 through that stretch?"
There you go. That's like I think it was Rocket Mortgage. Yeah, the 3-1-3 challenge.
Yeah, which first of all, a hell of a challenge to go. I'm pretty sure it's eagle, ace, birdie to make 3-1-3, which I think is Detroit's area code. Hell of a challenge. Who's going to complete that?
Yeah, any challenge that needs to be with an ace in the middle is probably not.
An ace is just one part of it. That's one part of it. You have to do the other stuff too, and not even like for the week, like in a row. I'm pretty sure. Get out of town. Other news this week: Tiger's back in golf video games.
This is right up your alley. You used to be a streamer. Remember when do you still have the Rick Run Good Tour?
So no, it has been retired. I know that the guys who were playing it are still playing because they're in the Slack
Wow,
channel and they chat about it and all
the
that stuff.
commissioner's retired and the league continues.
Yeah, things during quarantine, things got a little wonky. But yeah, I would have loved to have continued doing that, but it's a timing thing. But yeah, this is, I was not expecting this. So the evolution of golf video games, where the tour put their stamp of approval and their branding on a game this past year with Justin Thomas as the cover boy, and then this 2K Sports, who creates that game, signs Tiger to an exclusive video game deal, which, as we've talked about all the time, if you throw Tiger Woods' name on whatever it is, eyeballs will be on it and people will be forking out dollars. So I assume this is going to be worth the investment.
Yeah, no, that's assuming. I'm guessing they're paying him a pretty penny. But I was just gonna say that JT can't be too happy that Tiger shows up, steals his cover spot, and after 1 year, you'd
That's
have to
the thing.
imagine Tiger's on the cover.
Yeah,
You don't pay Tiger
him,
to
right?
put him on the back page or featuring Tiger. He's gonna be all over that thing. So.
That's right. I think what they did. So when he had his own line of games, it was Tiger Woods PGA Tour whatever year. I think maybe 1 year he shared the. I could be wrong on that. Rory had his own game after that.
I feel like Fowler was on the front of one of those covers.
I was gonna say Fowler too, but he would have had to be on.
Might have been like a special edition one.
There was a Masters edition, but why would they put Fowler on the Masters edition?
And then there was.
I gotta look this up now.
There was one that was late that Tiger shared the cover. I think they introduced some legends. I think he was on the front cover with Arnold Palmer, maybe in 2014. I was looking through the games when I was looking up the news. So yeah, it brought back some good memories. Those old Tiger games.
There was a couple of editions. Okay, the 2014 one had a couple of versions. There was him with, I believe that's Arnold Palmer. I see one with Seve. So Tiger's in the front. Seve and Rory are aside of him. There's actually one.
This is when they knew they were, I guess, parting ways with Tiger, so they started throwing other people on the cover to try.
Yeah, how about this one?
The blow.
The Masters edition. How about that? This is I cannot believe this happened. Bobby Jones alongside Bubba Watson.
When I think of Augusta, those are the first two guys I think of too. So that's not bad.
Ricky Fowler was on with Tiger in 2013. Yeah, you're right. As this relationship started to wind down and they realized they probably could not afford it to bring it back again, they tried a couple of things. 2011 had Tiger and Rory on it. So yeah, they definitely tried some things towards the end, which is.
And then Rory had 1 year and it was a complete flop, I would assume. So yeah, he was like 2015. It was like Rory McIlroy PGA Tour, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Listen, you can't move the needle like Tiger does, I guess, but we'll see. So I mean, it's all about playable, right? Because in the current version of the game, PGA Tour 2K21,
right?
It's really hard, but also there's pros in it, but you can't play as the pro.
Right.
So
right.
You just you play against them. They show up on the leaderboard. I can't imagine that's going to fly when you fire this up and people realize that they can't play with Tiger. They can only play against him. That's not going to work.
Kind of sucks that, and this goes back to the players union talk. Like, when you buy Madden, you're getting every player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think baseball is the only one where Barry Bonds was never in it, which was very strange.
Yes, he was John
Dowd or something
like John Dowd. Yeah.
He was a 99. I used to never draft him just because I couldn't stand that guy having some no name on my team. But yeah, when you have it would be just it makes way more sense to have everyone at least in like the top 20 or top 30. I don't know.
Isn't there a way that we listen, I know these guys want to be independent contractors and they want to be free, and I applaud them for that, but isn't there a way that we can, for video games, hey, everybody get together, we'll throw you all a bone, we'll throw your name in there, we'll make a guy look like you, it's not that big a deal. Like, there should be some things that we can all get together.
I think if you're like Brooks Koepka, you would want to be in the game. I don't know if he is or not, but like, I do it. I don't know. Obviously these guys it's a business, they all want to make money, but like, I would love to see myself in a video game. Like, not a lot of athletes have that. Like, every other athlete has that chance except for golf. Sorry.
And like, okay, if Brooks is in the game, like, he's going to be wearing Nike stuff, right? Like make it like it would be advantageous for everybody if
I don't. That's the one weird part about it, but yeah, I guess everyone in those games, they make their own guy and make their own tour, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But Yeah, I haven't played a golf video game in years, so
I want to fire
I
up the
would have.
old Tiger Woods games where you could drive it, like you could like power up and drive it like 390. Like now they're trying to get like a lot of them are more realistic now, where
Yeah,
like it's
no,
more
they're
skill
too.
based.
I
Yeah.
where you could change the spin in the air, you go full forward spin, and then wait, oh, you overshot it, then you
Well,
rip
spin
it
back.
back.
Spin back. Yeah.
Those are the best. That's when you're flirting with like 56 every round.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you were in the 60s, you had a bad round. All right, we have a NBA Top Shot drop coming up. Is there anything else we should talk about here before we kick it for Honda Week?
I just talking about those Top Shot moments. Jeff Shackelford wrote an article just maybe exploring what those would look like in the world of golf, and he pretty much came to the conclusion that it would be PGA Tour. It would suck. You wouldn't be able to have the majors involved unless they somehow got involved. But I still think there's a ton of fun moments and video clips that could be something one day. It's probably never going to happen if you're into that digital collectible type stuff. But like, think about the Bryson DeChambeau drive at 6 at Bay Hill. That'd be pretty sweet. Even anything at Sawgrass, the players. I brought up 2018 Tour Championship, Tiger walking down the fairway. Like that would,
Mm,
like, if you want to
mhm.
talk about a special moment in golf like that, on the PGA Tour at least, I think that's a pretty cool one. So
Dude,
it's there.
Benny
It's just
on making an 11 would be like valuable. Like people would like it doesn't even have to be good stuff.
yeah, that's like if you want to go like the meme route and like do like the funny stuff. There's probably that stuff as well. Like Bryson counting his hand, like how many shots he had at the Memorial. You could do it. You could do definitely a few things there, but maybe yeah, maybe I'm wishful thinking from my side.
Would
Golf's gonna have
will
to stick to sports cards only. I don't know if you're a big
that
sports
comes
card
out
guy.
soon? When's that new
They
that
delayed it. I've been scoping the release date of that, but they keep
what
delaying
happened?
it. I think it's going to come out in early April now.
It's called upper. We're talking about Upper Deck, right?
Upper
Artifacts
Deck
that release.
Artifacts, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Yeah.
bothers me about it is because there hasn't been a golf product in so long. It has, Justin Thomas as a rookie, which is odd.
Wait. It has
Bryson
what?
DeChambeau as a rookie. It's because it's their first card, so they just call them rookies. That's just how
Oh, I
sports cards
see.
kind of
There is a
work. So
Bryson DeChambeau, completely jacked up, black
rookie,
diamond
right?
relic rookie.
Yeah, and like you're getting it after he's won what 10 times, 8 times on the PGA Tour, so it's a little strange, but I think there's some cool stuff in there if you're into sports cards. Colin Morikawa, anything with him or Tiger or JT. I think Matt Wolf has some cards.
Yeah,
So
there seems to be a lot of relics, which is items that are inside the cards, whether they're pieces of. This looks like a piece of.
there's a
I
piece
don't
of
know, just a
you can
shirt.
get a piece of glove, you can get shirts, and you can get like shoe labels. Like yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Oh, shoe
there's a
label.
bunch of
That's
stuff.
might be what I'm looking at here. Okay. Yeah. So I thought it was supposed to be March. So you're
You
telling me this
should
is now early April?
you should get a box and rip them open on a stream.
Let's
Make
do
some
it. Okay.
content.
How do I go about getting these? Like, how do I obtain
I've
this?
I, I'm sure it's a lot more widely available in the States. I think you can pre-order it somewhere and probably buy them off eBay, but look into that, Rick. You should get into the physical card world.
That's what I need. Okay. Product
Yeah,
details.
that's what you need. They're
Uh,
it'll cost you a pretty penny. It's not quite the same as you can buy probably like a $500 box of cards and end up with $50 worth of cards in return. So it's a riskier venture right now than the Top Shot world.
Oh, great. All right. Let me figure out how to buy some of these. If I can get my hands on a box or whatever, I'll
There
definitely
you
stream
go.
it. I'll definitely stream and open. What I should probably do is I could probably also like reach out to like there's got to be a card shop, plenty of them here in Vegas. Like, hey, like
Oh yeah,
how do
lots.
I yeah, I'm sure they'd love to sell me this shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna get a Morikawa. I can already sense it.
That'd be awesome.
It would be a
Or
nice
a
piece.
Bryson rookie in 2021.
Anything Bryce did, yeah, that stuff's gold right now.
All right, buddy. At EPAC Golf, you can follow Eric's work and you can follow me at Rick Run Good. This has been 300 yards to unknown. See ya.